Alright, so Crab Walk. Pretty simple concept. Medium punch and the light kick. You don't actually see the medium punch start. So when you do this slowly, you will, move across the screen. You're carrying one move into another. However, if you hold forward and you basically press both buttons almost at identical time, basically as fast of a plank as possible, then you will fly across the screen. This also works with light punch. Now, the reason why you would use light punch is because of this. Far light punch, stand medium punch into forward fierce. So if you slow down as you're getting closer to your opponent, you can actually get a combo. It's a little bit harder to do this one because you have to react to multiple far stand medium punches working, but it is possible. So KO does the one with the light punch, and basically everyone else that I know of does it with the light kick. So I have Yun set to jump backwards. So I'm going to activate, and then I'm going to chase him. Okay? So we're mid-screen. I'm going to activate. And if you do it fast enough, you're going to catch him by the time that he does his next jump, depending on where you start. So when I activate, if I let it completely finish, I can chase and end up going with forward fierce. Pretty simple concept. Now, what's hard to do with this is how Sho uses it, or Ushi as well, where you do it, and then you go into crouching medium kick into Daipon loop, which is really hard, but it is possible. Basically, it's a double Kara crouching medium kick, which is really funky to get your fingers to do. Even I haven't practiced it. But yeah, so it's possible, but it's very difficult. The other ideal situation to use this is sweep. Now, Sho uses this a lot at ranges like this where you start, because you can do it twice and then sweep, or 3 times into sweep. If you do it 4 times into sweep from max distance, you cover the entire screen. So if someone's not jumping backwards and they're just walking backwards, it's a way to catch them walking. And because all of Genijin's moves are hard knockdowns, you're able to get a dive kick afterward. Now, some other ways that this is used is simply because when you're chasing your opponent, you can super jump forward and then dive kick as they're jumping. So you can catch them with a high-low situation. And depending on the dive kick that you're using, you'll land closer or further away, and you may or may not be susceptible to being hit by their buttons depending on the character that you're playing against. Doing it against Ken is a little bit more risky because of jump back fierce kick, or roundhouse. But far standing medium punch actually has a hurt box above its hitbox. Opposite. Hitbox above its hurt box. So above his little elbow, it juts out a little bit, and that can actually hit your opponent as they're trying to jump back fierce kick with Ken or something. So it has quite a bit of uses, but you're essentially just holding forward and mashing medium punch light kick like a spaz as fast as possible, or medium punch light punch. And you can do it in a more methodical way to get to a specific spacing that you want by whiffing things, but it's a little bit riskier to do it that way. However, it is useful in some situations to set up universal overhead setups, or whatever after a knockdown. As an example, if you were to throw your opponent and then activate, and then you do Kara Fierce, right? Like medium punch, Kara light kick, you can get universal overhead. If he was crouching, that would have comboed. So there are ways that you can use this in other, fashions, but for the most part, it's just meant to close gaps, meant to allow you to abuse your opponent when they are trying to, walk with sweeps, or, forward fierce, or shoulder. I've seen Yakun do stuff like that, because it goes really far. From all the way across the screen, 3 into Fierce Punch shoulder goes the entirety of the screen. So, if they're walking back, it will put them into guard, and because you're plus, I believe, 9 after shoulder, they still have to eat high-low throw. So it's very easy to get your opponent to want to look for the parry as well if you condition them to look for this. And then, that's when you open them up with sweep. But the main goal is always to vary how it's used. You can use it to set up dive kicks as well. As you can see there, that particular dive kick was 3 of them into jump forward heavy kick dive kick, and it was a safe jump dive kick. They actually have to walk forward in order to, deal with it, or, parry or whatever. So all of that stuff changes. Certain characters make a maze for you when you are trying to chase them. So when you're activating full screen, you have walk, you have jump. This just adds another tool. It fills and covers space faster than a jump does. Because, like, when you jump, you end up going to the, right under the winds from all the way back here. But, 2 of them puts your hand right under where you were going to be. So 3 of them, or that's 4, puts you basically at the same spacing in about 2/3 of the time. So that is the basics to how this can be used. And I know it's a little rambly, but, enjoy.